There's a special kind of satisfaction that comes from finding a car that doesn't just fit your budget, but fits your life. Not a car you plan to flip in a year. Not a car you replace the moment something newer comes along, but a car you keep. A car that becomes part of your routine, your memories, your story. Mercedes-Benz has built some of the most advanced luxury vehicles in the world. But hidden behind the flagships and the high-performance badges is another category: cars that were engineered to last, not to impress for a single model year. These are the Mercedes models you can still buy for surprisingly low prices today, yet they offer a level of build quality, mechanical honesty, and long-term reliability that modern cars often struggle to match. They are simple enough to maintain, solid enough to trust, and comfortable enough to live with for decades. Today, we're diving into 5 of the best Mercedes models you can buy cheap and keep forever: cars that don't just survive time but grow better with it. 1. Mercedes-Benz W123. The W123 isn't just a car, it's a reputation on wheels. For decades, this model has been known around the world as one of the most durable passenger cars ever built. In many cities, it served as taxis, family cars, and long-distance commuters, often running for hundreds of thousands of miles with only basic maintenance. What makes the W123 300D so special is its simplicity. The diesel engine is mechanically straightforward, built before complex electronics took over modern cars. It relies on solid metal components, mechanical fuel systems, and conservative engineering choices that favor longevity over performance. On the road, the W123 doesn't rush. It moves with calm confidence. The suspension is soft but controlled. The steering is steady, and the cabin feels solid in a way that modern lightweight cars often don't. Inside, everything feels purposeful. The seats are firm but supportive. The dashboard is laid out for function, not fashion, and the materials age gracefully, developing character rather than falling apart. Owners often describe this car as slow but unstoppable. It's the kind of vehicle that becomes part of the family. One you lend to friends without worrying, one you take on long trips without hesitation, and one that, years later, you realize you could never replace with something that feels quite the same. 2. Mercedes-Benz W210 E-Class. The W210 is one of the most misunderstood Mercedes generations. When it was new, people focused on its unusual design. The oval headlights divided opinions. But over time, a different story emerged, one built on mechanical strength and real-world durability. The E320 gasoline models and the E300 diesel versions, in particular, earned strong reputations for reliability when properly maintained. These cars were built during a period when Mercedes was still heavily focused on long-term engineering rather than short-term cost-cutting. The ride quality is classic Mercedes: smooth, stable, and confident at highway speeds. This is a car that feels like it was designed for long distances. The cabin is quiet, the seats are comfortable for hours at a time, and the suspension absorbs road imperfections without feeling disconnected. Mechanics often appreciate this generation because the systems are logical. Repairs are generally straightforward, parts availability is strong, and many of the common issues are well documented and manageable. What makes the W210 a keep forever car is its balance. It offers enough modern comfort to feel relevant today, but enough mechanical simplicity to remain serviceable well into the future. 3. Mercedes-Benz W203 C-Class. The W203 is often overlooked because it sits in the shadow of both older, tank-like Mercedes models and newer, more high-tech generations. But that's exactly what makes it such a hidden gem. This car represents a transitional period where Mercedes began introducing more modern electronics, but still retained much of its traditional build quality. The C240 and C320 models, in particular, are known for their smooth V6 engines, balanced chassis, and surprisingly long service life when properly maintained. On the road, the W203 feels light and responsive compared to larger Mercedes sedans. It's easy to park, easy to maneuver in the city, and stable on the highway. It's the kind of car you can drive every day without feeling like you're piloting something oversized or fragile. Inside, the cabin strikes a balance between comfort and simplicity. The controls are intuitive, the seats are supportive, and the overall layout feels designed for usability rather than visual trends. For many owners, the W203 becomes a gateway Mercedes, the car that introduces them to the brand and convinces them to stay. It's affordable, reliable, and surprisingly rewarding to live with long-term. 4. Mercedes-Benz R R129 SL. The R129 is a car that feels special every time you approach it. Built during a period when Mercedes engineering budgets were generous and expectations were high, this roadster was designed to be both a luxury cruiser and a long-term investment in quality. The body is solid and heavy, giving the car a sense of presence that modern convertibles often lack. The doors close with a deep, reassuring sound. The suspension is tuned for comfort without sacrificing control. And the powertrains, especially the naturally aspirated engines, are known for their smoothness and durability. Driving the R129 isn't about speed, it's about experience. The low seating position, the long hood, and the refined ride make every trip feel like an event rather than a commute. Mechanically, these cars benefit from relatively straightforward systems compared to newer luxury models. This makes them appealing to owners who want to maintain and preserve their vehicles rather than constantly battle complex electronics. What makes the R129 a keep forever car is its timelessness. It doesn't chase trends. It doesn't feel dated. It simply feels like a well-built machine that was designed to be enjoyed for decades. 5. Mercedes-Benz W463 G-Class. The early W463 G-Class models are a rare combination of luxury and true mechanical toughness. Originally designed with off-road capability at its core, the G-Class evolved into a premium vehicle without losing its rugged foundation. The result is a car that feels just as comfortable in city traffic as it does on rough terrain. The body-on-frame construction gives it a sense of strength you can feel from behind the wheel. The driving position is high and commanding. The controls are simple and durable, and the drivetrain is designed to handle stress that would overwhelm most luxury SUVs. Owners often talk about how these vehicles age differently. Instead of feeling worn out, they develop character. The interior materials become softer, the exterior gains a sense of presence, and the overall experience becomes more distinctive over time. What makes the early G-Class models special is that they offer something increasingly rare: a luxury vehicle that isn't afraid of being used. You can drive it daily, take it on long trips, or explore rough roads without feeling like you're risking something fragile. Final thoughts. The best cars aren't always the newest, and they aren't always the most expensive. Sometimes the best cars are the ones that quietly prove themselves year after year. The ones that start as a practical purchase and slowly turn into something more: a companion, a project, a memory machine. These 5 Mercedes models share one thing in common. They were built with a philosophy that valued durability, comfort, and long-term ownership over short-term trends. If you find one in good condition today, you're not just buying a car, you're buying a piece of engineering history that still has decades of life left in it. If you enjoyed this kind of deep automotive storytelling, support the channel by liking the video, subscribing for more real-world car insights, and leaving a comment below. And here's a question for you. Which Mercedes model would you keep forever if you had the chance, and why? Let's talk about it in the comments.